literally her entire career of being planted in Starfleet, working her way up through the ranks, becoming a Commodore, the head of Starfleet security, her whole career has been for this moment.
Mm-hmm.
And in her moment where she's about to, fulfill her orders, she's denied. I mean, talk about incredibly frustrating.
Yeah.
Personally, professionally, like when she goes back to the Zhat Vash, higher ups, I mean, whoever her superior is, I'm sure she has to answer to them
I don't know.
something.
Oh yeah.
She was the one that took them to the others to the admonition. So I would say after that 14 years or so that she would maybe be.
Oh, that's a good point. Sure. She could be
that too.
Yeah, she could be the number one person. But
I didn't even consider that.
But still,
she's going to come back and have to answer to somebody, and they're going to say, "Okay, you didn't kill the synths, and you exposed yourself, so now Starfleet knows that we were behind the attack on Mars, and we don't even have a high-placed officer in Starfleet anymore." So you kind of failed on every angle.
Yeah, all those decades of work is down the drain. I mean, it's done. And
this wouldn't necessarily have to have someone above her doing that. Like,
true,
her crew could mutiny on her if she's the one in charge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I cut you off. Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's just, it's a very frustrating end to her storyline in this season. I cannot imagine. And of course, I may have to eat my words in this, but I cannot imagine that's got to factor somehow into season 2. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't just go home and read a book and have a glass of wine and go, oh, well, tomorrow's another day. I'll just hit it again at the office. It doesn't work that way. She's got to be so frustrated. I hope we haven't seen the last of Commodore O. I think we will see her again. Hopefully we will anyway. And I do also think it's kind of funny how all the Romulans just leave and then Riker's like, deuces, and then he just leaves too. Nobody sticks around and makes sure everything's okay.
but Picard's like, oh, hey, Will, it's great to see you. I'm fine. See you later.
Hey, and at this point with the Romulans bugging out, what's happened to Narek?
Okay, so this was a big question mark for most people who watch this episode. I sent you guys some screenshots.
Yes, I did see the screenshots. I was on my phone, so I didn't open them up, but to read them because I'm the worst.
Okay. No. So, Joe, did you have a chance to take a look at what Michael Chabon had said about Narek's end?
No, I didn't see the screenshots.
Oh, okay. Not a problem. So let me just pull those up here real quick. So a lot of people were asking Michael Chabon on his Instagram stories, what happened to Narek? Seriously, where is he? His story was just left unresolved. So, he said, someone asked him, what became of Narek? And he said, yeah, Narek, we know, a casualty of the editorial process, alas. The intention was for him to be taken into Federation custody. Oh, okay. So apparently, much like at the end of the first Avengers movie, where Loki is just sort of handcuffed and taken back to Asgard, I think the same idea is supposed to apply here with Narek. He was meant to be taken into Federation custody. We just don't see it.
Okay, right on.
Yeah, that's what happened to him, but that scene is somewhere edited out, apparently.
I'm glad I wasn't.
Yeah, I was looking at these now.
Twice and didn't see him, so cool.
Yeah, I didn't even think about at the end where the gang's all there and he's not there. I don't know, maybe somewhere subconsciously I was thinking he was in a cell on the ship or something. I don't know. Yeah, I'm looking at all of these. And he even talks about they did a scene to show Rhonda and the other XBs beginning to form a kind of a possible community with the synths under the auspices of Soong, and in the end they couldn't find a place for it that worked and felt losing it didn't hurt too much. And then he says maybe we were wrong because someone asked about it. Huh. Very cool.
Well,
very
cool. It
cool.
does seem odd that they'd have, a character that's been kind of main throughout this series and then not resolve how his story goes, but
Yeah, again, I feel like this is a victim of rushing to an end. I really do. I feel like, not that I needed another scene of Narek trying to manipulate Soji. Like, I didn't need to see that. Because we've started seeing that enough this season. But, like, simply a scene of him being a line of, like, Picard saying, hey, we've got, I've got people on the planet. Will, don't make sure you check in with them. Tie up any loose ends. Because they just leave, and we never see Narek go into Federation custody. So it's like, yeah, it's a little bit like, hey, what happened?
yeah, I wonder if they have him on the La Cienta.
He might be. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe I envision him on one of those Starfleet vessels headed back to Federation jail.
Yeah, but they didn't talk about it.
But I think all those Federation ships left, and then Soji turned off the transporter block for the planet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because really, the only thing that they talked about, him and Picard and Riker talked about it was Riker's like, I couldn't let you go have all the fun and just be making pizza in the woods. I wanted to come out here too. And nothing about we'll try to get the teleports open so you can take this prisoner away. Nothing like that. No. Instead, Picard starts having the hallucinations / dreams or whatever that he had, where Data's painting Daj / Soji, and then falls on the floor. Oh, and Soji sees, because they're still sort of linked up, and Soji transports Picard and Agnes back to that spot where she was building this antenna, and he has all these nice things. Eleanor, he just like puts his hand on his face, but it's like Eleanor, like, I feel like because he has that whole absolute candor thing, that like he could feel the emotion that Picard was portraying, like, you're wonderful, I love you, thank you so much, kind of thing. So he didn't really have to say anything really to him. And, and he's and he's talking to Rafi, and like she's holding onto his head, and he's, sort of in her lap, and then he just dies, and it should be more emotional, but we know there's a season 2, so that
yeah, I had that same thought process going there, but I thought it was really touching, especially just seeing the relationship between him and Rafi, that his last words were telling her that she was right.
Right. She's had lots of people tell her she's right lately.
Yeah, this was her episode, right?
It's like Agnes had all the one-liners, but Rafi had all the congrats. That's not the word. I don't know. Got all.
Rafi
What is the
best.
Yes. And I wrote, much emotion is had by the characters, since I wasn't as emotional about it as I should have or could have been. So then we go to all the sad team. Rios is by himself crying. Seven comes up with a bottle of quote unquote alcohol, because she says this is what passes for alcohol on this planet.
It looked like nail
and
polish.
that it's right, and that it was terrible. Yeah, because it was like blue, but also kind of iridescent-y, like sort of like if it were motor oil but blue instead of black. Like, it was weird. But she was drinking it, shampoo or whatever.
Yeah, it looked like shampoo or nail polish.
Like, I liked this talk that they had where they both were talking about how they did things that they said they were never going to do again. She said that hers was killing someone just because they deserved it, because she thought they didn't need to live anymore because they were terrible. And I'm like, you know what? That's probably the best reason to kill somebody. As long as they're bad. I mean, you know what I mean? Because the reason was bad. Like, I'm thinking like Hitler. I'm not thinking like just because you think someone deserves it because they parked in your parking space or something. That's terrible. I don't want anybody to think I'm just like wanting to kill lots of people because I'm not.
I like the ends of your scale there.
Either Hitler or you stole my parking space. There is no in between.
Like there's little things that people are like that are like, oh, I'm gonna kill so and so, like when they don't really mean it. And then there's like someone who's terrible, like Adolf Hitler, who that's about the only way that it's gonna end genocide of another, like it's a big long scale. It's just those are the ends. God, now I can't. You guys threw me off. I'm sorry. This is ridiculous. I'm sorry I even said it.
This conversation between Rios and 7 and 9 here is really, really good, though.
Yes, because then he says, he wasn't going to let another self-righteous, hard-ass starship captain get into his heart and watch him die again. And so 7's like, could you have prevented it? And he says, no. And she goes, well, then I win. Because, she could have not killed Narissa. She could have just taken her into custody or something, but she didn't. She took revenge instead. Honestly, I don't know how, like, killing someone is actually taking revenge on them, because once they're dead, they don't even know it. So, whatever. That was just a random thought that I had. Sorry. Then a butterfly flies between them, and it goes past Rafi, who is also crying alone. And this is also another emotional thing. Eleanor comes up, and, they're sort of like, oh, hi, being sad. And when he sits down next to her, he just starts sobbing like a baby, and she just holds him and she tells him it's okay, let it out, you can cry, that's fine. And it's so sad, and it's so sweet, because she's somebody who tries not to show a lot of emotion. Like, she has emotion in her, but she tries not to show it to people, because I think she just doesn't want to be vulnerable to people. And then you have Eleanor, who shows all of his emotions, it's completely true and everything, we're like, they're so opposite, because Rafi also will lie about things, like telling her son that she was clean when she was still doing drugs and drinking and stuff, or like that kind of thing. Like, and then they come together and they have this moment, and she's comforting him, and it's really sweet and it's really sad. Like, it was really rough to see these characters, because it did feel like they had earned being that close to Picard, and that they actually felt this way. Like, the acting was good, and the writing that went along with it was good.
And you think about it, how Eleanor, even though he was raised by this group of women, his parents are gone. They've been killed from when he was little. So he's really like a motherless boy. And then you've got Raffi, who is a mother, but her son has rejected her. So she's a mother without a son. And in this moment, they each find the thing that they need. He finds a mother figure in her, and she finds a way to comfort the son that she can't comfort anymore. So it's a really deep emotional moment. This was the moment where
you made it even deeper and emotional to me now, like saying that, like somehow I wasn't even like thinking about it like that either. It's like, I loved how you explained that, and it was beautiful. I'm sorry, go on.
Oh, thank you. but like of all the moments in this episode that got me like very emotional, and there were a lot, especially here